Since the last time I made this video, LEGO has released 3 new versions of the Destiny's Bounty, or Bounty, whatever you want to call it. There have been a total of 8 versions of this set now released from 2012 all the way to 2025. Hey guys, it's Djinnblade 304 here, and today we are doing the Mega Destiny's Bounty comparison with all 8 versions of the ship, including 2 with an asterisk beside them. There are a couple that technically aren't bounties, but I'm including them in this video just for fun. On the far left, we have 9446 Destiny's Bounty, released in winter 2012. Moving slightly to the right, released in summer 2015, we have 70738, the final flight of Destiny's Bounty. Moving even more to the right, we have 70618 Destiny's Bounty from the LEGO Ninjago movie, released in summer 2017. Moving slightly to the right, again, we have 70677 Land Bounty, released in summer 2019. The next actual version of the Destiny's Bounty is 71705 Destiny's Bounty, released in summer 2020. From Seabound, we get the Hydro Bounty set 71756, released in summer 2021. Our first Dragon's Rising Bounty is the one you see in the center of the screen right now, 71797 Destiny's Bounty, Race Against Time, released in summer 2023. And the final one on the far right, the newest one, is 71848, the Temple Bounty, released in summer 2025. In this video, I will be going over the category of value, minifigs, design, playability, overall looks, and the final opinion, and then we will tally that all up at the end to see which one of these sets is the true winner. Starting with the very first Destiny's Bounty 9446, released in 2012 with 680 pieces for $80, 6 minifigs, one of which being exclusive, but we'll get to all that in a little bit. Had a value of 11.8 cents per piece if you're keeping track. Solid value here, you get a lot of bigger parts. You get those 2 large paper sails, you get the serpentine tail piece, which was new at the time. Overall, solid value here, but not the greatest. Next up, 70738, Final Flight of Destiny's Bounty, summer 2015, 1,253 pieces for $120. 9 minifigs, which is a phenomenal number of minifigs for a set like this. 2 of which were exclusive, and that's 9.6 cents per piece. You get a lot of good stuff. You get the dragon, which we'll get to here in a little bit with playability and stuff like that. The minifig selection is really nice, and the vinyl sales aren't the greatest, but they make do. Our entry from the Ninjago movie is 70618 Destiny's Bounty, released in summer 2017. 2,295 pieces for $160. That is a phenomenal value. 7 minifigs, one of which is exclusive to the set, and it's a phenomenal value of stuff that you get here. There's a lot of awesome function of this, and it's also just a beautiful, beautiful display piece. Moving along is the Land Bounty, 70677, released in summer 2019 with season 11 sets. Had 1,178 pieces for $130. 9 minifigs, 2 of which were exclusive. You got a lot of larger pieces in the set, thus the little bit of a price bump from 120 from the previous cheapest one, or previous middle ground one, to now 130, which I think is pretty fair value for this. That is 11 cents per piece. From Ninjago Legacy in summer 2020, we have 71705 Destiny's Bounty, 1,781 pieces, $130, 7 minifigs, 3 exclusive, and this is 7.3 cents per piece. This is a phenomenal value. It's on par with the movie Bounty. You get a lot of things in this set. There's a lot of good play features, and just a lot of awesome building techniques and stuff that we'll go over here in a little bit. From here on out, the Destiny's Bounties just get more expensive, and this one is no exception to that. This is 71756, the Hydro Bounty, released in summer 2021 with the Seabound set. Has 1,159 pieces, $140 when it was released. 10 minifigs, which is a great number, like I mentioned. The more minifigs in a set, the better. And that is a value of 12.1 cents per piece. That is definitely the highest on this list. Next, we have the first Dragon's Rising Bounty from Season 1 of Dragon's Rising, 71797 Destiny's Bounty Race Against Time, released in summer 2023 with 1,739 pieces for $160. I wish this would have been a little bit cheaper when it was released. It has 6 minifigs, none of which are exclusive. You get 9.2 cents per piece. You get this cool little side bow for a dragon. And lastly, this big one on the right is 71848, the Temple Bounty, the newest edition released in summer 2025 with Dragons Rising Season 3 Part 2 sets. 2,387 pieces for $200. 6 minifigs in the set, which are pretty solid. We'll get to those in a little bit. And that's a value of 8.4 cents per piece. And the last one was 9.2 if I didn't mention it. Here's how I divided up the points for the value category. Starting with the minifigs from the first set, you get 6 of them. You get Sensei Wu, who was exclusive to the set. You get Garmadon, who we saw in another set. Kendo J came in a booster pack. Kendo Zane in a spinner, same with Slitherra. And Scales came in the Tread Assault set. Solid minifig lineup here. I wish we would have gotten a couple more figures. I wish we would have just gotten like the ZX Ninja or something. I'm not a biggest fan of the Kendo suits. They're just a little bulky. Garmadon is a nice inclusion. I wish we would have gotten like a young Lloyd in this set. For the final flight of Destiny's Bounty, this had 9 minifigs, 2 of which were exclusive. The ones exclusive are Soul Archer with the leg piece, not the ghost tail, and Moro with the inclusion of the cape. Solid minifig lineup. You get 3 of the ninja. You get Master Wu, who has a really nice design for this set. You get an army of ghosts, which is always nice to get. It's always nice when the heroes versus villains feels balanced. Plus you get those couple screamers, which don't count towards minifigs, but they're still nice inclusions. For the Ninjago movie bounty, we get 7 minifigs. The one exclusive one is Master Wu by virtue of a different head print. It's a shame we didn't get any villain minifigs, like a couple of the Shark Army Warriors would have been nice to get, or Garmadon himself would have been good to get in this set. But to get all the ninja in one set is something that is not incredibly common, believe it or not. And it's nice to get all of them, even if these aren't their best suits. For the land bounty, we get 9 minifigs again, and almost perfectly balanced between good and bad. I like the inclusion of a couple Pyro Whippers. That's something that I think is incredibly nice. They're really good figures. We get the exclusive Cole FS and Master Wu from this version of the series. It's nice to get him in the set. We also get 3 of the regular ninja in their armor suits, and I think these are fine minifigs. Esphira is nice. I wish she would have had a regular snake tail piece, but that's just a problem with her minifig as a whole, not necessarily the set, not including that. We also get Char, her second in command, and the minifigs here look really good, and it's nice to get 9 of them. For the Legacy Destiny's Bounty, we get 7 minifigs. We get all of the main characters of the series. We get all 4 ninja fully armored up. Zane with that armor piece is exclusive to this set. We get Samurai X, which is nice to get. She's also exclusive. And we get Young Lloyd, which is a very nice new minifig. Something that I just think is really appreciated by myself and a lot of the Ninjago community. It's really nice to get this minifig. We also get Master Wu. There's a nice inclusion here as well. For the Hydra Bounty, we get 10 minifigs, the most of any of these sets. The exclusive ones are Nia and the 2 Wu bots that you can see in the back. These are fine little minifig builds. They're nothing great. I don't love that they're in here. I wish we would have gotten a couple more Melee guards instead. But the ninja fully decked out in their scuba gear is nice to get. We also get Kelmar and one of his guards. Super good inclusion with all of this. It's nice to see all the ninja in one set again. The first Dragons Rising Bounty had 6 minifigs, none of which were exclusive. You can all get them in cheaper sets for every single one. That's something that's unfortunate. I wish we would have gotten something different with one of the characters. I wish a Master Wu would have been different from the core suit that we got. Maybe have a different version of Eren or a slightly different version of Sora. Or another villain that wasn't Rapton, because he comes in a bunch of the sets throughout the wave. Solid minifigs here, but not the best at all. And lastly, the newest Destiny's Bounty has 6 minifigs, 2 of which are exclusive as of right now. Nia with her armor piece makes her exclusive from the $20 4+ set, and Zane is currently exclusive to this set. Rogue with his armor piece came in a different set. Zark came in a different set, cheaper. Wildfire has come in many of the sets this wave in its exact form, and Cole also has come in a couple sets this wave. And here's how I divided up the points for the minifigs category. Moving on, I'm going to talk about design and playability all at once to try to hopefully shorten up this video. I don't know how well that's going to do in the long run, but we'll see. Overall design, I love the red and brown color scheme to this with a little bit of black mixed in. There's no like real ugly color showing. There's a little bit of blue, but it's mostly covered by the engines a lot of the time. I love the look of the sails. I think they look incredible. You get a couple nice printed pieces at the back for those flags. There's a lot of standing room for minifigs. And just a lot of good part usage overall. The anchor works in this set. You can move the dragon head's mouth up and down. And as for the main feature of most of the Destiny's bounties, the thrusters, you just pull these back like that, and then it is now in airship mode, and I think that's a super awesome feature. Not 100% accurate to how it is in the show, but still cool nonetheless. You can raise and lower the anchor with this little winch at the front, if it wants to work. Sometimes it doesn't want to work. And so the anchor just goes down like that. For the sails, you can pull this little lever right here and open them up like that to give it just a sailing look. You can also move this cockpit section forward to put some figures in the back here. There's also a cannon and a couple hidden compartments that just have little like daggers in them and stuff like that. Nothing super crazy there. Also with this set, you get this little snake shrine. The goal is to steal the serpentine staff here. It's fine. This doesn't do anything. You can move this up and down. You're not really supposed to. But it's fine. It's there as like an extra thing for the bad guys to defend. No like villain side build or anything. So playability gets a little bit of a dock for that. For the final flight of Destiny's Bounty, I'm not as big of a fan of the design of this one. The olive green just feels out of place to me. Wasn't a huge fan of that in the show either. I don't like that as a color. I think the gold, the red, and the dark red work really well together. With a little bit of brown and black mixed in, I think that works fine. Just the dark green or olive green mixed in was not the best choice, and I could have done without that or just had that be red. As for playability, this does have a handle. This is something no other Destiny's Bounty has done. You have a handle, you can hold it by that handle. It's pretty sturdy, it's not going anywhere. It's very nice of an inclusion, and I wish more ships like this would have that feature. For the thrusters in the back, you pull this section back. Sometimes mine doesn't work. I don't know if I built it wrong or if that's a design flaw in the set. But you pull this back, and they come back like that, and to push that back. See, mine just broke. As I was saying, to push these back, you just push that back in. There are a couple spring-loaded shooters on the back with grappling hooks on them. That's nice. There is a large interior for this one that seats at least 2 minifigs. You can put more in there if you so choose. I have the extra grapple in there. You can't really see it, but it's in there. And also something this one does, which is a little bit interesting. This back part comes off and functions as like a separate side build. It's a separate sub-assembly entirely. It's a little workshop for Neo with a little bike. You open that up, it has a bunch of the tool pieces, which is nice. I like the look of the bike. It wasn't in the show. So, just an additional play feature. Plus, you also get the Ghost Dragon in the back, and that looks nice as well. Unfortunately, it's not very stable. I have to have the wings pointed straight down, like you see back there now, just in order to get it to stand. There is a lot of standing room for minifigs on the set, which is nice. There's nothing else. A couple stud shooters hidden throughout the set, and obviously the spring-loaded shooters that you see there. So, solid playability, not great design. I almost forgot to mention the sails. You can pull these down like that, and the sails go up. They are made of vinyl, which I think is fine. I would have preferred a cloth piece. And to release them, you pull this little lever like that, and then they can just come back down. It doesn't work all the time, but it mostly works. It's also a nice printed dish piece up there. As for the Destiny's Bounty from the LEGO Ninjago movie, this thing is a masterpiece when it comes to design. Just so much about it is good. The tan mixed in with the dark red and brown and black, I think works absolutely phenomenally. Just a great color combination overall. The sails are now made of paper. They don't have any action feature, unfortunately. I wish some point there will be a feature to like lower these down so that you could have them folded in like sometimes is seen in the show. But that's not like the biggest nitpick. I think it's fine that they don't do that. There's a lot of interior space, which I'll try to get to. You can move these garage doors up and pose figures all around the ship. There's not actual thrusters on this one, just these things that can go down if you wanted to. There's no like rocket or like showing of a rocket on this set, which is a little bit unfortunate. Starting with this one, we'll take this top section off. It's been a while since I've done this, so. And inside is a little dojo. You can see down in there a couple weapons. The ultimate weapon is in there, the laser pointer, for those of you who have not watched the Ninjago movie. It's actually not terrible, but this also comes off and reveals a bed, which a minifig can fit in, and there's a lot of nice references just to things from Ninjago's past, like an Anaconda helmet, a Djinnblade, one of the Stone Army swords. Moving to the middle section, I actually have to take the sails off in order to get this to be able to show you guys. This section also comes off, and there's just a little bit more interior. There is a toilet down in there. You guys can see it. It's kind of hidden. It's right in there. And then the anchors also work on this set as well. You can just turn this chain, and the anchors can go down. Not very far. The chain's not that long, but it's still a nice inclusion and something that I'm glad this one has. And from top to bottom in the set, there's so much detail. There's a little space for a minifig back there, or maybe a couple. I'd say at most 3. There's just a lot of small details that you wouldn't notice from a video like this. And that's what gives it the win in the design category. It is a little lacking in playability, unfortunately, but there is still a lot of nice interior space for you to work with and pose figures around, just to have some fun scenes on your display shelf. The Destiny's Bounty on Wheels, otherwise known as the Land Bounty, may have one of the most okay designs to it. I personally really like it. I think it looks really good, but it does have a lot of playability. Starting with design, there's just a lot of nice shaping. It uses a couple stickers, nothing too crazy. The paper sails returned from the previous bounty. I like the design of them. I think they look really nice. I love the use of these large hubcap pieces and these gold shurikens down here at the bottom. Just a lot of nice gold detailing mixed in with the brown and the red and dark tan and dark gray, which I don't even think looks the worst. I like the way the front bumper is constructed. I think that looks really nice. You got some headlights in there and some representation of what would be exhausts. I think they just work really nicely there. On the inside of the ship, there is a large enough area to fit multiple minifigs. You could probably fit all of the ninja in there, plus some of their allies. I don't have an exact number of how many figures can fit in this set, but it's quite a lot. And the thing I took off to get to that is a cannon. It works like how you would expect. You pull this back, and then there's a 1x1 round brick that fires out. I also did have to remove the sails, and that just fell into the bounty. I'll deal with that later. But moving towards the back, we get to another one of the great play features. You can move these forward or backwards, and then this lifts off as a separate thing entirely, which is super cool. I love the look of this. The engines are built up very nicely. I think that looks really good. There is also a small interior in here. Seats a couple more minifigs with a control panel. Nothing too crazy. It's nice that it's there. Didn't need to be there. Some stud shooters on there, and I think it looks pretty good. This looks good by itself as well, and I think this ship, like the rest of the boat, or car, truck, SUV, whatever you want to call it, doesn't look as good without this. You can also lift this little spring-loaded shooter out and angle that around as you will. And then if we turn this thing around all the way to the back, there is a small little like SUV buggy kind of thing. That's just a nice inclusion. Wasn't in the show at all, but it's a nice little inclusion that it's there. It's built up pretty simply. It's angled forward. That's nice, and that just fits in the back. It doesn't take up too much space. Doesn't take up too many pieces from the rest of the build. There is also working steering. If you spin this knob back here, if I hold it up a little bit, you'll better see it. Spin it like that, and then the wheels can turn. It's nice that it has fully automatic steering from the back. Something very good. And the shurikens spin on the ground as you move the set along. If you don't like them, you can just leave them off. It's not that big of a deal. And just a lot of weapon storage throughout the side. This gear doesn't really get in the way. I don't think it takes anything away from the design. The back doesn't have any like suspension or anything. It's just kind of fixed into place there. And I think it still works. This is a really good design set with a lot of great play features. As for the Legacy Bounty, this one also looks incredible. The color combination just really works here, and I think it's one of the better looking ships of the Destiny's Bounty vehicle. It's obviously from Legacy, so it's not based on anything other than just being a redesign of the original set, and I think it does it so much better. Obviously, it has over 1,000 more pieces than the original set, and it uses all of them very nicely. The sails do move. You can just lift them up like that, and to lower them, there's no lever to hold them in place other than just like friction. So I think that's really nice like that. And that also allows us to get into the little bit of interior space that is in here somewhere. I can get that up like that, and we'll bring it forward. And go down. There's a little bit of like a training dojo in there. Nothing super crazy. Just some small space for minifigs to be around, and it's nice overall. There are also a couple ladders for minifigs to be able to climb up to the next section, which we'll get to now. But first, we got to take off this roof section, and again, this looks super nice. You can open it up if you want to. There's not really anything super crazy in there. It just looks good, and that's all it needs to do. I really like the design of this. I just think the colors come together really well. Hypothetically, if you wanted to, you could put a minifig in there, like a microfig or something. But in the bridge, you can see we have a map of probably Ninjago, and there's a small little area. This also does come off, and you can open it up like that to be a little training dojo, and it just leaves the bridge behind, and I think it looks super nice. There's a katana in there just for extra weapon storage. And when you put this back down, if you don't knock the screen over, it looks really good. On this one, you also get some nice brick-built anchors. I like the way they're constructed using a hot dog piece and the 1x1 round plate with a bar, and a couple of the robot arms. I think that looks really good. You can spin that with this little gear at the front. The dragon head can move up and down slightly. You can open the mouth and get a couple different poses with it, nothing too crazy. There's also a stud shooter cannon here, just like many sets include these days, or I guess those days when this was released. As for the play feature of this, the thrusters come down like this, and that's about as far as I can go. Just like that. And then also, if you pull these down, reveals some jet engines, or hypothetically a spring-loaded shooter if you wanted to modify it and put that in there. It wouldn't look the worst. But this is a manual thing to my knowledge. I don't think there's a way to automate this. I don't remember there being one. But it's a really cool design. I love the way the thrusters are built up. I love the angles of them and how precise they look. And it just looks really nice. Bringing the Hydro Bounty out, I think the design of this is also really nice. There's a couple spring-loaded shooters in there. They don't look the best, but they're not the worst thing either. The white and then the dark tan with the black and gold accents works really well for me. You can move these little fans in and out. We'll get to the thing at the front here momentarily. Inside, there's a whole lot of nothing. You get a little side build with the Ninja's hair pieces. You get 3 of them, and then a couple crates that you can just store in the back right there. So that's fine. That's a good play feature, I guess. Just to be able to store things in the set. The main feature of the interior is being able to hold these submersible combat crafts, and you can just set them in there. If I can figure out how they go in. I don't quite remember. You put one in like that, and then you can take the other one. You get 2 of them in this set, which is very nice. You get Lloyd's and Cole's. If I can get it. Sometimes it won't go in all the way it's supposed to. If I can just get this one in like that. They just fit in there, and then they don't block anything from closing. So that closes up like that, and that looks pretty nice. You also get Kalmar's Chariot for playability, and I think it's a solid build. I like the recolor and reprint of the Manta Ray piece. I think that looks really nice. It's big enough just to hold Kalmar and nothing else. You could clip a figure onto one of the flags if you wanted. I think the flags could use a little bit of decoration, to be honest, whether that's a sticker or a print, but I feel like they're just a little bland. This reuses the Combat Craft cockpit piece just to open up. You can fit 4 figures in there. You can also just take this whole top section off like that. It uses a vinyl sail, which doesn't look the worst. I wish the gold would have been a little bit brighter than it is. You can fit 4 minifigs in there, 1 at the helm. You get a printed compass and just a couple seats for minifigs to fit into. It's a nice inclusion. There is a small little bubble canopy at the back, and I think that works. And as for the play feature itself, this has one of the more interesting ones. Push these forward like that, and then they go like that. There's an actual mechanism for it, if I would have demonstrated it correctly. But you pull this back, and then they go forward like that. And to reset them, it is completely manual, unfortunately. You just push that back in and then fold these back up. Just like so. I think it looks nice. The play feature is well integrated enough, well enough for a little bit of play. You have to just use your little bit of imagination to get this to have the full play experience. I do also really like the translucent light blue used throughout it, and I just think the way the cockpit comes together at this angle looks really nice. It's nice that you can see many minifigs in there. You can fit all 6 ninja in if you wanted to, having the 2 in their combat crafts and then 4 in the canopy section, and then the 2 woobots can just be wherever, but I'll show you where one of those go right now. This little front section is pretty unassuming, right? Well, if you know, you know. This whole thing comes off and it forms into a mech of some variety. You can just bring those down like that. It has a little bit of a face, which I think looks kind of funny. Nothing too crazy here. It's a small mech, and that's all it's intended to be. You can fold these arms out like this and have it as like a little side robot thing. It's fine. It's a fine addition. It's not the greatest. I don't know that it needed to be here. But removing that reveals this little like ion-powered engine, and I think that looks pretty cool, but unfortunately it will be covered up most of the time by this robot. I think it's fine. There's no like stud shooters or anything on it. It's just a robot that you can use to attack something. It's fine. It's a nice inclusion for playability, I guess. Moving on to the first bounty from Dragon's Rising, we have limited playability with this, but it is still there. The sails do move. There is a little knob up at the top that you turn either direction, and that just gets them to open like that. I like the printing on these better than the other vinyl sails. It has a lot of nice detailing that you wouldn't notice unless the light hits it right. And I think it works for this. I'm not a huge fan of vinyl for the sails for this, or dragon wings for that matter. But I still think this works pretty nicely. As for the design, the anchors are fixed into place, unfortunately, so there's no playability for that. The design of the hull is just built really nicely. It's built using a lot of these larger panel pieces that we've seen used on bounties previously. I like the gold railing using this flex rod and the dragon tails at both ends. There's a little T-mat there, a couple small plants. Something that almost all of the bounties have is a little bit of like small plant life growing on them in like pots or something like that, and I think that works really nicely. The part of the design I don't like is this back here. I don't like this color scheme that it uses. It works for the small dragon build that's included, but I don't like it on the bounty itself. I would have preferred this to be red or black or brown or even dark gray, I think would have worked. Tan probably would have worked really nicely as well. There is a small interior up at the top, and that just houses Ryu. You can open it like this and just see Ryu. He's just in there. He has a little ball and a bone and a couple baskets of fruit. It's nothing great, but it's a small detail that's nice, and you can just fold that up. Just like that. You can also take this whole top section off of the bounty. And there's a small little kind of dojo in there, training area, with a little bit of art. It's not really a dojo, it's kind of just like a room that's built because of the walls that are here. And I think it would have been better off without it, to be honest. There is no mechanism for the thrusters. They are completely hand operational. You can pull them forward or pull them back and get them in whatever angle you like. They do have a 360 degree range of motion. It's the same thing on both sides, and I think it works. Again, the blue just sticks out. I like the gold detailing around the bottom for where the thrust comes out. I like the way the middle section is built. It is thin compared to the rest of the ship, but it works, and that's part of the play feature, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, we got to talk about the other interior space under here. There's just like a little lounge area, a couple beds. You get some of the Prime Empire controllers and playing a video game. A little small weapons build on this side. And beneath that right there is a little chalkboard to draw on. And these are all modular. You can just place this back right into place, just like that. It sits pretty tightly. It's not going to come apart unless you want it to. And then the roof, it uses a couple of the ratcheted clips that clip into regular bar clips, which I think is nice. And that just sits there like that at an angle, which I do think gives it a nice look, and I think the roof here is built really nicely. As for the big play feature of the set, we have to turn these little flaps up so we can get access to this, which we fold up, and it'll stay like that. It's not going to stay like that if you start swooshing it around, but it will for right now, and that's all we need it to do. And that just houses this little dragon. This is Sora in dragon form, not Sora the human. If you know, you know. We pull all the legs back like that, fold it up, and then the tail just slides in the center of this back part right here. If I can get it to go in like that, and that closes down, and then the dragon functions as the mast of the ship. Not really show accurate. I wish there would have actually been like a dragon head at the front, but this works. I like the color scheme of the dragon. I don't like it on the build, the bounty itself. But overall, I think this has a lot of interesting choices. The Technic for the frame is exposed. I wish that would have been covered up. Something they could have done really simply, but chose not to in this case. I like the use of the telephone pieces down here. Just pure aesthetics. You have a little telescope over here and a compass over here. The steering wheel spins as they do on almost all of these sets. And it's a nice build. It was a fun build process. I built this back in 2023, obviously, so it's been a couple years. But there's a lot to like about it, but the blue back here just doesn't work for me. Bringing in the Temple Bounty, despite it having the largest piece count, this also is definitely showing the piece count is the largest bounty, and that is the Temple Bounty. And this uses almost 2,400 pieces very nicely. There's a lot of small details, like just the way the sides are built up. It's built, the base is flat, and then the sides are built sideways, and then you clip them into place. I like the use of these upside down windscreen pieces just as roofs of the little temple builds. And like the other bounties, these are modular. You can take that off. There's nothing really in this one particular that I just removed. Something I don't like is that the dragon head doesn't sit all the way at the front like it does in the show. There are 8 of these nice 1x2 printed elements, and I think they look pretty good. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but they're there. I like the gold railing that goes down the side mixed with the dark red and black. I think that's a really nice build technique that they use for that, and I just think it works really nicely. This roof of this section of the bounty also comes off. It just reveals a little telescope that's in there. Nothing super crazy. And you take this off as well to get to the bridge section. It has a piece that you use the reveal blades on, which I don't understand how it works. I mentioned that in the reviews of the sets. You can fold this up and just reveal some more controls, which I think is really nice. And guess what? This part also comes off. We just take this part off just like that, and it reveals how the mechanism works, which we'll get to in a second. There's a small little interior, just a couple hammocks back here. The main interior is underneath these large doors that you can, in fact, open like this to reveal the small section of the interior, but we'll take this whole thing off to show you the full details. So as I mentioned, you just take this whole section off like that, and it reveals a lot of nice details. There's a couple stickers of like photographs. There's a little bar area in there, and I think that's really nice. There's a tea mat, again, as something that's very common throughout the bounties. Just something that's really nice. Small details in here. It uses all 2,387 pieces very well. As for the sails, they are now made of a cloth material. Not paper, not vinyl, a cloth. You can't see how it feels, but they do have some nice flexibility. Again, you can't actually do anything with the sails. They're just kind of fixed into place. I wish that would be a feature that they would introduce in one of these sets. Something else I really like about this one is just the way the dragon flows from the front to almost the back of the ship. I think it just works really nicely. I love the way that it's built. The whole build experience was a phenomenal one of the better LEGO building experiences I've had, especially for a bounty, almost on par with the movie bounty. I mentioned a mechanism for the plate feature. I'll demonstrate that. There's a gear back here that you turn, and then these sails open up like that, and that just is phenomenal. That is pure perfection, in my opinion. I just love the way that looks. You turn the gear to the right to open them, and then you turn it back to the left to close them up. It's the same thing on both sides, and the gear is just nicely hidden away back there. It's not like a bright red or yellow gear that you would not want to see. It's something that's just kind of fits in with the general vibe of the ship. Here's how I divided up the points for the design category. A lot of these have a lot of great designs to them, and it was hard to give out the points equally. And for the playability, the Land Bounty won this easily, and the rest of them I divided up the points as I saw fit. Now, with all of the bounties repopulated with their respective minifigs, which one do I think looks the best in the overall looks category? I think it should be no secret. The movie bounty looks the best in my opinion. It has so much detail packed in, and there's just a lot to love about it. There's a lot of good things, and it uses almost 2,300 parts phenomenally. You would pick it up and feel like, man, this is a heavy set. This should have a lot of parts, and it does. I ended up splitting the points for the Legacy Bounty and the Temple Bounty. I think they both look phenomenal on display, especially when minifigs are just scattered throughout them. I think they look really, really good. The Legacy Bounty does a lot of good things with the brighter red. The Temple Bounty uses the darker red to great results. An unpopular opinion is that I gave the Land Bounty the 5 points. I think it looks really good. I just think it is a really good set. It looks great with minifigs throughout it. There's a lot of small details you wouldn't notice. I wasn't big on this set at first. If you guys were around when I was doing videos about these sets, I wasn't huge on this one. I didn't know how I would feel about it, but having it for now 6 years just solidifies it. I think it looks really good. I gave 4 points to the original Destiny's Bounty. I think a lot of nostalgia plays in, and I just love the way it looks. It's not the biggest ship, it's actually the smallest one of this comparison, but it just works really well for the time, and it's a 2012 set. It feels like a 2012 set, but it has a lot of good things to like about it. For the 3 points, I gave them to the Hydro Bounty. I think the submarine aspect of a Destiny's Bounty is something that LEGO should have done many years ago, but this works well. I love the white and gold combination with the black and dark tan mixed in, and the way it can hold all of your ninja figures. The submersible combat crafts fit in really well, and I just think it looks really good on display. 2 points goes to the Final Flight, and I just don't like the olive green mixed in. If that would have been a regular red, this probably would have scored a lot higher. I just don't love the olive green mixed with the other colors. It just doesn't work for me. I don't like the olive green in this case. I like it for the Chima Crocodiles, but this is not a Chima Crocodile set. This is a Destiny's Bounty. And getting the 1 point for overall looks is the Race Against Time Destiny's Bounty. I just don't like the blue and yellow used for the back building. It just doesn't work for me. I like a lot of other things about it. I just don't like that one thing in particular, and that really holds it back in the way it looks, especially on display. For the final opinion section, I'm just going to run through this real quick. The original Destiny's Bounty gets 6 points. A lot of nostalgia there. Final Flight of Destiny's Bounty gets 1.5. The olive green just doesn't work for me. I love the minifigs in the set. I don't love the vinyl for the sails. The play feature also just doesn't work for me. I don't know if I built it wrong or if others who have the set have had that experience with it. It just doesn't work for me. The movie bounty gets 8 points. It's the best bounty there is. That's no secret. And it's absolutely phenomenal. The lack of the thruster playability doesn't really hold it back because it's still there if you imagine it. And you could easily modify something on it to give it the actual thrusters of a bounty. And it just looks really good. 4 points goes to the Land Bounty. I like it. I wasn't too high on it when it was first revealed. I didn't know how to feel about it. But now having it for 6 years, like I just mentioned, it's a great set. I had to give it the 4 points because I had to get the points out evenly throughout all of these sets. And unfortunately, just got the 4 points. The Legacy Bounty gets 7 points. I had a lot of fun building this on a live stream. The paper sails look really nice on this. The play feature works. And it's just a really nice looking bounty. And it's the classic bounty, but redone in a new way. And it just looks really good. The Hydro Bounty gets 3 points. It's unique, I'll give it that. I just don't love the play feature, how it's integrated. Like, it's a fine feature. I just wish it was self-retracting as well as it is self-expanding. The minifig selection is great, but I had to give it the 3 points because, again, had to give the points out. 1.5 points will also go to the Destiny's Bounty Race Against Time. It's a solid set for those who don't have a Destiny's Bounty. If you have to get a Destiny's Bounty and that's the one available, it's a fine set for that. The minifigs really hold it back. I wish there was some exclusive variant of somebody in the set, or just something different. I wish the dragon feature was done differently. I don't love the look of the bright blue and then the flame orange is yellow. It just doesn't work for me. And then I gave the Temple Bounty 5 points. A lot of good things to love. It probably has the best sail thruster feature of any of them. The cloth sails are fantastic. The build experience was also amazing. Just the little bit of accuracy issues that it has puts it at the 5 points I gave it. And the results are in. Let's see which one of these Destiny's Bounties truly comes out on top. In last place with 9.5 points is the Destiny's Bounty Race Against Time from 2023. The minifigs hold it back. The color scheme holds it back. This, on paper, is a great set. Everything about it is really good. The price per piece ratio is there. There's a lot of good things with it. I like the dragon side build. I like the figures included. I wish something would have been exclusive. But just the way that it doesn't have a true play feature aside from the dragon is holding it back. And again, that color scheme in the back. I don't like it. Moving on over to 7th place is the Hydro Bounty from Seabound. The value of this really holds it back, in my opinion. $140 for this doesn't feel like a $140 set. There's a nice play feature with the mech that comes out, but it doesn't need to be there. I think it's unnecessary inclusion. I like getting all of the ninja. I wish we would have gotten maybe Maya or Pixel instead of a couple of them like Kai and Cole, because they were never really in this ship in the series, if I'm remembering correctly. There's a lot to like about this one, but there's also a lot to dislike. 6th place goes to Final Flight of Destiny's Bounty. What holds it back is the design and overall looks. I don't like the olive green. I've said that 100 times in this video. The dragon build is also okay. It doesn't stand up by itself. I'm factoring that into just where the parts go in this. If they would have taken that out and had that as a separate set, or just not had it at all, I think this would be fine. At the $100 price point, I feel like it would have been perfect. In 5th place is the original and smallest Destiny's Bounty from 2012. It's a good set. It's the first Destiny's Bounty. They've improved a lot since then, but being the first one, it's going to have flaws, and unfortunately some of them don't hold up to today's standards in a LEGO set. The minifig selection is fine. I wish we would have gotten something else other than the Kendo Ninja. Master Wu exclusive is fine. Slytherin scales are good. I wish we would have gotten maybe another Serpentine General instead of Slythera, but a fine selection nonetheless. In 4th place is the newest addition to the bounty lineup, and that is the Temple Bounty. The accuracy issue I have is something that I think holds it back and rightfully puts it at 4th place. The minifigs are okay. It's nice to get the exclusive Zane. The Zark is just outnumbered. I wish there would have been a couple Dragonians, maybe like 3, and I think this would have scored a little bit higher and put it at least into 3rd place, if not 2nd. 3rd place goes to the Land Bounty. There's a lot to like. It has the best playability out of all of these. I think it has the best minifigs out of all of these. It's nice to get a select handful of Ninja, the exclusive FS Cole, and the exclusive Master Wu. And the Pyro Whippers are nice. Esphira and Char are good minifigs as well. What holds it back, really, is it's a Destiny's Bounty on wheels. That's the only thing I can say about it. It has these large wheels that are very visible, but it's supposed to be that. It's supposed to be like this off-roading vehicle, and for that, it works, but it also just puts it in 3rd place. In 2nd place is the Legacy Bounty. This is a phenomenal set. This is probably the best TV show bounty we've ever gotten, and it's not really close. The minifig selection is okay. Like, the Legacy Ninjas were overused at this point during its release. The play feature works really nicely. I like the amount of interior space that's there. It just works really well. The sails are nice. It's nice to see them using like a paper instead of a vinyl color. And it's nice to see like a remastered version of the original set. And the winner, to no one's surprise, is the Ninjago movie Destiny's Bounty. It's one of the best sets of all time. It is one of my favorite sets ever. It's definitely in the top 5. I don't know how I would exactly rank it. I think it's the best bounty. It's not the best TV bounty because it's not from the TV show, obviously. But there's a lot to love about it. The build experience was amazing. Had a lot of fun with it. I got it for my birthday in 2017. Just a phenomenal set overall. And there you have it. That is all of the Destiny's bounties compared and also kind of ranked. Let me know what your favorite one is in the comment section down below. Let me know which one of these you actually have, which one's your favorite, which one's your least favorite. But with that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I put a lot of time and effort into it, setting all these sets up and just getting the video to hopefully function well. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. And maybe we'll do this again when a new bounty is released. Djinnblade 304, signing off. Bye.